There we go. All right. Yeah, I know. It's like pushing the button. Um, all right, we're going to come back to order here. Next up is Jobs and Family Services. And Director Bivens, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity for Job and Family Services to present their budget testimony. I am Director Joy Bivens, Christy Russell, Assistant Director and Chief Financial Officer.
Is that is the mic on? Is it?
That one's not.
Now it's
Better.
on.
There we go. Okay.
So who are you again?
Laura Rapaski, Chief Operating Officer. So Commissioners, before I begin with our budget testimony, I'm going to ask that you be patient with me. I want to make sure that I navigate through the pieces that are most essential.
No, we're not going to be patient with you. Not at all. No, don't you? No, ain't not a chance.
So it doesn't sound, I think County Administration did a really good job outlining a lot of the social service programs that Job and Family Services oversees, and a lot of it you will see in our budget testimony. Also would like to acknowledge some of our partners in the room who administer some of those, who oversee a lot of those programs. So for all of you in the room, I know Alicia Leatherman is here from Celebrate One, Arthur Hirsch from Columbus Urban League, Terry Ragland, who oversees our Step Up to Quality initiative, and Bo Chilton from Columbus Impact. And then we also have our wonderful community leader who is always overseeing and ensuring that I'm doing the right thing, Ms. Nana Watson.
Always.
So if I can begin, Franklin County Department of Job and Family Services 2019 budget is $88.6 million. This recommended budget includes $40.6 million, which is 46% in personnel services and fringe benefits to support our dedicated staff. Our staffing level target for 2019 is 620 full-time employees, or FTEs. In 2018, we maintained staffing levels above 600 FTEs for the first 9 months and above 620 FTEs for the 4 months. Our recommended budget also allocates $10.2 million, which is 11% for materials, supplies, services, and a capital building lease, including $3 million for temporary staffing, which is a decrease from the $3.3 million budgeted in 2018. The remaining $37.8 million, which is 43% of our recommended budget, is reserved for social service contracts to directly assist our most vulnerable residents. I, along with our Chief Operating Officer, Laura Rapaski, and our Chief Financial Officer, Christy Russell, would be happy to address any questions you may have regarding our recommended budget, funding streams, or staffing levels. However, I would like to use this testimony to highlight some of the innovative social service programs the Board of Commissioners funds. When I first addressed the staff in our agency after officially being appointed director in 2016, I told them that human services was changing. In 2018, change arrived in a form of a new systems, new business operations, and yes, but also in form of new integrated partnerships and new approaches to our work. While the conversion of food and cash assistance from CRC, our more than 30-year-old legacy eligibility system, to Ohio Benefits has had its bumps, our agency and benefits program have never been more accessible to our customers. Residents can now apply for assistance or check the status of their existing benefits online or on the phone. The new County Shared Services phone line provides residents with new options for virtual hold and schedule back appointments. And current customers can now bypass much of that by signing up for free text alerts to check on their monthly benefit allotments or be notified of any changes to their case. These new systems also provide us with a wealth of additional information and data that we will be able to use to inform our business operations, from designing new staffing models to creating new workflows to connecting employees with mentorship and coaching. We also are creating a new unit that will be tasked with taking this wealth of new data and operationalizing it. The Office of Strategic Transformation and Research, which we will acronym STAR. Utilizing no additional resources, the STAR office will reconfigure the agency's existing policy unit. The STAR office will function as an internal think tank of sorts, providing information, research, and strategies to help inform our community investments and business operations. STAR will also incorporate principles of behavioral economics and procedural justice to standardize agency practices and better align internal policies and programs. As new technology has made our federal public assistance programs more accessible to residents this year, we have also strived to make our agency's supportive services more accessible throughout Franklin County. So again, as you all know, the eviction rate in Franklin County, as Deputy County Administrator Chris Long talked about, we had 18,000 filings, and prompting by you and your leadership, Job and Family Services placed a case manager in the eviction court. The Board of Commissioners last year, and you challenged us to take a deeper dive into the issue by holding community meetings and working with stakeholders, including the Community Shelter Board, Legal Aid Society, and Columbus Metropolitan Housing Authority. Together, they helped us identify ways to refocus or redirect existing programs like prevention, retention, and contingency, which is our emergency assistance program, to make a greater impact. We used that feedback when amending our PRC plan last year, which included changes such as raising the cap from $1,000 to $1,500 and new considerations for families in doubling up. And I would like to make mention that we raised that cap due to the data that we received back. Since rents and mortgages rates were rising, we wanted to make sure that cap was competitive with those rates. While Job and Family Services has long partnered with local hospitals and other agencies to meet customers where they are and connect them with available resources through an on-site case management agreements, we have expanded that approach in response to the eviction epidemic. We began assigning case managers to provide assistance to residents on site at the Franklin County Court. Our case managers began working a few days a week last summer, but the initiative was so well received that in February, the court requested that the agency expand the collaboration to 5 days a week from 8 a.m. to noon. Many of the individuals and families facing eviction are our customers already, but having the ability to apply for PRC on site at court could help prevent or delay their eviction. And if they have already applied for PRC, they can get an up-to-date status on their application as well as check on the other benefit programs. So far this year, our on-site case manager has met nearly 900 families and helped 280 avoid eviction and remain in their homes. Our agency also partners with Community Mediation Services, who would have a contract for 2019 for $280,000 to explore tenant-landlord mediation in lieu of court action and provide both eviction intervention and prevention workshops. The changes to our PRC policy and the decision to provide direct access to customers at the eviction court have maximized the program's impact. More than $1.3 million has gone to assist over 1,200 families with shelter expenses, eclipsing our total payments across all of our PRC categories in 2017. And nearly $41,000 has helped working class homeowners stay in their homes and help with their mortgages. The changes we have made allowed us to reach more families and provide greater assistance while reducing the amount of our PRC budget that would otherwise have to be returned back to the state. And commissioners, if I could just pause right here, we did an analysis of our PRC requests. The two most requested assistance types are for rent and utilities. 1 in 4 applicants makes more than one request at a time, meaning they can ask for multiple requests at a time. Previous to this, before our amendment, an applicant can only ask for one entity at a time. 15% of applicants are denied due to their income being unable to sustain their current living situation. And between 2014 and 2018, there was a 500% increase in denials for exceeding the poverty level. The interface is that though the economy is improving, families are requesting PRC because they have not seen enough in their paychecks to pull them out of poverty. While PRC and other traditional safety net programs like food assistance and Medicaid provide families with means to survive, our agency also offers supportive services designed to strengthen families, increase self-sufficiency, and improve economic mobility. Publicly funded child care, or PFC, checks all the boxes. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the weekly cost of child care for a family with an employed mother rose by 70% from 1985 to 2010. Median earnings or less remained stagnant over the same period, meaning many working families are spending as much as a third or more of their income on child care costs. PFCC has the dual impact of enabling parents to work or attend school to support their families while providing children with the foundation heading into kindergarten. Families must make below 130% of the federal poverty level, which is about $2,200 a month for a single mother, with 2 children in order to initially qualify. Center or home-based providers must be licensed by the state in order to accept publicly funded child care subsidies. However, starting in 2020, as you know, all child care providers who would need to obtain a Step Up to Quality star rating to participate in PFCC. And as you know, PFCC Step Up to Quality is a 5-star quality rating and improvement system for child care providers, mandated and administered by the Ohio Department of Education and the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services. And again, there are more than 31,000 children enrolled in PFCC home and center-based programs last year, but less than a quarter of them were in a star-rated program. And again, the data states that if today was 2020, 23,000 of those children would not be able to receive the child care services that they currently have because their center does not have a star. The economic impacts of the mandate reach further than the approximately 72% of an estimated $64 million in PFCC payments from Franklin County that went to unrated providers last year. Many home and center-based child care operators are small business owners who struggle to support their own families, let alone retain staff. If they were barred from accepting children covered by PFCC, the 2020 deadline is not just, again, a education issue, it is a workforce issue. Recognizing that the agency has invested more than $1 million, including $755,000 this year to develop and implement an innovative, multifaceted strategy to meet the mandate, including conducting an in-depth research and analysis of state and county data to assess the early learning landscape and identify what communities have the greatest deficit of star-rated providers, administering surveys and hosting focus groups with parents and providers to better gauge their understanding of quality learning and informed messaging, TV commercials, and targeted social media ads, developing and offering customized trainings for child care providers. The trainings are free, offer both in person as well as online, and provide 32 hours of Ohio-approved professional development. Engaging with the media and community leaders to encourage site visits to child care centers to observe quality learning and raise awareness about Step Up to Quality. To date, nearly 400 child care professionals from 150 different providers who serve an estimated 8,150 children have registered or completed Franklin County's free training. 57 of those are high-risk providers who draw the largest amount of publicly funded child care dollars and serve more than 6,200 children, nearly a third of the children estimated to be served by unrated providers. While we recognize that high quality star-rated early learning can put children on the pathway toward academic success and future economic stability, we also have worked this year to develop a new career pathways for adult customers. And commissioners, I would like to make mention, currently we are providing training on Saturdays, 2 Saturdays a month at the Northland Office in Job and Family Services. It is in our requested budget that we will provide trainings more during the week at all of our centers in 2019, so that we can increase our training opportunities for our providers, so we can have greater impact to reach more providers and children. Again, talking about new career pathways for our adults, Building Futures is a first of its kind pre-apprenticeship program, as you know, developed in partnership with Columbus Central Ohio Building and Construction Trades Council and administered by Impact Community Action. The 12-week program is designed to help low-income Franklin County residents and individuals from traditionally underrepresented populations pursue union apprenticeships, including electrical work, ironwork, carpentry, painting, plumbing, and more. The program lays a foundation for individuals to build careers in the skills trades and serve as a pipeline to the middle class. Building Futures participants receive both soft skills training, including interpersonal skills, and financial literacy, followed by hard skills, including safety certification, trade-specific instruction, all while receiving a $250 weekly stipend. They are also connected with other supportive services offered by Franklin County to help address barriers like transportation, housing, childcare, and more. At the end of the cohort, participants complete an interest assessment to progress directly into apprenticeship program. Franklin County has provided more than $900,000 in blended TANF, general revenue, and people work dollars to support 4 cohorts. The second cohort graduated in October, while the third just began last week, and the fourth cohort will begin early in 2019, and we are currently having discussions regarding future cohorts for the rest of the remaining 2019 dates. To date, 33 of the 39 graduates, which is 84%, have gone on to begin apprenticeships paying a living wage, some as high as $27 per hour, and providing benefits like health and dental. We are proud to report that one of our graduates, who had been living in an emergency shelter situation before he began the program, has since been able to put a down payment on his own apartment. Another graduate, who was just out of high school when he started, has been able to save enough money to purchase his first car. The program's impact has garnered national recognition, and just this summer received an award from the National Association of Counties. The agency has also sought to develop additional career pathways for TANF-eligible customers to obtain good jobs that pay a living wage and move them off public assistance. Building Healthcare Futures, an offshoot of Building Futures, will train licensed community health workers to support efforts to curb infant mortality in Central Ohio through a partnership with the Ohio State University College of Nursing and Celebrate One. The 12-week certificate program will provide residents from low-income communities, including Celebrate One's high-priority infant mortality neighborhoods, with the skill and training to become licensed community healthcare workers. After completing the program, the health workers will begin paid internships with different nonprofits within the high-priority neighborhoods. These community connectors help build individual and community capacity by increasing health knowledge and self-sufficiency through a range of activities such as outreach, community education, informal counseling, social support, and advocacy. The jobs also come with inherent pathways to obtain additional certification and pursue both traditional healthcare careers like nursing as well as other nonprofits or private sector, including the insurance industry. Our agency is formalizing a partnership with OSU and Columbus Public Health on behalf of Celebrate One to recruit and train and place approximately 75 new community health workers spread across 3 cohorts. The agency will provide an estimated $180,000 in TANF to support the pilot through June of 2019. As Franklin County Department of Job and Family Services develops innovative new middle-class career pathways, we also expanded youth programming to support our future workforce. Our suite of summer youth success program included a $3.35 million in TANF funding to allow more than 3,600 children ages 5 to 13 to attend free summer camps at a dozen of sites across the county in 2018. These day camps offered a wide array of activities aimed at fostering physical and social emotional development, reducing impact, summer learning loss, and exploring new skills and interests. We will continue these investments in 2019 because we see them as a win-win, providing stable, safe, and enriching environments for kids, while keeping parents on the pathway towards self-sufficiency. Our Summer Youth Success Suite also includes employment opportunities for youth 14 and older. Last year, more than 1,700 opportunity youth were able to learn valuable employment experiences and earn a paycheck over the summer through our investments. For years, the programs would come to a close with the start of the school year. But this has changed with the expansion of Achieve More and Prosper, Franklin County's comprehensive case management and employment program. As you know, we abbreviated it to make it more term-friendly to young people. Our A.M.P providers remain engaged with in-school youth ages 14 to 18 year-round, offering a wide array of barrier removal and other supportive services. We have invested more than $7.3 million to support 10 different programs serving this population, as well as additional providers offering year-round comprehensive case management services to an estimated 450 out-of-school ages 18 to 24. In 2019, our agency will continue its commitment to the 14 to 24-year-old opportunity youth participants in our A.M.P program by leveraging our approximate $9.5 million CCMP allocation to fund supportive services and other employment opportunities in conjunction with the Workforce Development Board of Central Ohio and other community partners. However, we also hope to build off the success of these investments through the launch of our community-wide Franklin County Summer Youth Success Challenge. Our intention is to challenge the business community to match Franklin County's investments for every 10 of eligible youth summer camp slot and summer youth internship slot we fund. We're asking the business community to provide matching dollars to support an additional slot. This challenge will allow us to drastically expand the impact of our youth summer success program suite as well as our network of employer partners. It also has a dual benefit for our business community. By matching our summer camp investments, they can ensure more parents, their workers, are able to remain engaged with their job or work activity throughout the summer months. It will also provide the job creators in Franklin County with the chance to have a direct role in training their future workforce, ensuring our young people are equipped with the right skills and tools to thrive in the 21st century economy. These are generational investments that will fuel the continued growth and success of our county. However, we also recognize that poverty and decreasing economic mobility across Franklin County are systemic issues and we cannot program our way out of it alone. This is why earlier this year, at your guidance, we contracted with more strategic consulting to develop and implement a comprehensive poverty mitigation strategy. The countywide poverty assessment and strategic plan is an ambitious project to reimagine the future of Franklin County while developing concrete, actionable steps with partners from private sector, local government, education, and nonprofits to get us there. Moore has assisted us in establishing a steering committee with more than 40 members. From executives at Fortune 500 companies to former public assistant recipients and everyone in between to foster innovation to improve economic mobility and family stability. The steering committee, which is chaired by Ohio State Associate Vice President for Community Relations, Trudy Bartley, has identified 4 priority areas. 1, increasing access to living wage jobs. 2, increasing healthy living conditions in neighborhoods. 3, ensuring all young people are on track for long-term successes. And 4, ensuring access to stable and affordable housing. In addition to the pair of steering committee meetings that have been held thus far, we have established work groups dedicated to each topic and comprised of subject matter experts in each field, and held numerous stakeholder engagement activities to inform the planning and recommendation process. While the final recommendations of the steering committee, again, only the first phase of the action plan, are months away, we are already identifying emerging themes that will require our agency to reevaluate our approach to community investments. We will be working with our large system leaders to develop shared metrics and outcomes for similar programs and look to align funding to maximize our collective impact. With so much uncertainty at the federal level, the assessment findings and recommendations should and must inform our local strategy moving forward. Human services is changing, and so is Franklin County, as you all know. The workforce needs of our local employers today will look far different 5, 10, and 20 years down the road. Franklin County Department of Job and Family Services must continue to evolve to meet the changing needs of our customers throughout Franklin County to ensure that our neighbors are not left behind. It is a daunting challenge, but one we must embrace wholeheartedly, knowing we have commissioners who believe and support our agency's mission. We will be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Hey man, no clapping. It's budget. Come on, stop it.
Boy, that's Charles back there.
I know Charles is like, good job. That's our agency.
I will say this.
I pay him to do that.
I've been in a lot of budget hearings in 10, 11 years at the county. That's the first time I've heard applause.
Yeah.
Nice job, Charles.
Well, you got to give Director Bivens the she'd stack the audience. You know, she's like, we probably had some kind of sign applause when I end on this word, you guys.
Exactly, I did.
Bar exam this year.
Divert the questions with applause.
This was some exciting stuff for him.
Right.
This is so much better than studying for
Right.
bar exam.
Well, let me open. Yeah, right. Are there questions or comments for Director Bivens?
I do have a question for clarification that I think you would know the answer to, or one of your esteemed team members would have the answer to. As we're looking to put all of the information that you gather from our constituents online so that people can see and get status reports. Can you please give the website and or phone number so that people can check that?
So I am going to ask, because I don't know the website, Bob. I'm glad
figured
Jody
you
is in the room. But they can dial 614-233-2105, and they can obtain the information from Henrietta. And I am trying to find our website. You would think I would know that.
No, I really wouldn't.
Yes, it is www.jfsfranklincountyOhio.gov.
All right,
Yes.
Thank-
do both of those slowly again. 614-233,
614-233-2105.
and then what's the website again?
It is www.jfsfranklincountyOhio.gov.
All right, and then I want you to do something similar for, the step up to quality. So because, this star rating that the state, is insisting on, we got a lot of work to do still. I mean, we're doing fantastic work, your agency's doing fantastic work with this. But there's still, a lot of centers that still are gonna need some assistance. And so, for the centers out there that need to, still reach out and still need some guidance and still need work, need to reach out to the agency, what are they, what's the hashtag, what
It is,
are we looking for? How do they reach out to your agency?
so as Commissioner Boyd stated, I stacked the room because I can't remember everything. So I have people in the room smarter than me. So Terry Ragland, I'm gonna ask you for the phone number here soon. But I am going to give the website. It is www.stepup2starrating.com. www.stepup2starrating.com. And so that I do not become inundated with those phone calls, because I would not be able to. The phone number we're giving them is 614 266 0645.
Great. All right, so if you're a daycare provider out there that still needs some assistance, with the, step up to quality ratings, you need to reach out, you need those, that website and that number.
Yes, and they can go to our website as well, and the information will be there. Yeah.
Great.
Thank you for that. Very comprehensive, again, focused on people, not numbers.
Yeah.
In terms of just giving us the numbers of people served. You talk about people, children, and families, and for that, I thank you.
I'll just say, I'm again still processing all of the presentations from today, and so I just put the disclaimer out there. I'm more likely to come back with additional questions, but it was a thorough illustration of some of the highlights that what I think is probably one of the most important departments that exist in government do, and so thank you. Zeroing in on just that, I have one question, and it's, the public assistance area is what you're known for. Everybody knows about the county and public assistance. In your budget documents, you indicate that you requested $39 million, and $36 million was actually funded. And so tell me about this gap. There's an explanation here that shows why there is a gap, but I'm not sure I understand the explanation. And so, because it appears that we would be reducing public assistance, but when you read through the document, it doesn't seem to be the case. And so I just wanted clarification on that, if possible.
Christy, why don't you go ahead and start, since you look like you're ready?
Because our budget is 88.6 million. So Commissioner Boyce, I'm trying to figure out what 36 million you're referring to.
The public assistance line item. So in your background document submitted, it would be on page, it would be.
In the program specific?
Correct.
Commissioner, I think Zach has an answer.
Commissioner Boyce, I'm sorry, Zach Clerk with the Office of Management and Budget. This is related to the $2.5 million subsidy request that was in the initial request for Job and Family Services. As with prior years, we've kind of held that in reserve. There is money available in the Commissioner's budget but we don't provide that at this time as part of the recommended budget, but would provide that at the end of 2019 based on available federal funding. So there was a similar request for the 2018 budget, and I know the number was,
It was 2.5 in 2018 as well.
and it was a bit less than the 2.5 million that we'll have to transfer at the end of the year.
But
So we kind of
it's-
take it as a wait and see approach based on, some of the trades that County JFS has worked through with other counties with kind of TANF allocations as well. So we kind of, hold that back until the end of the year. So
Commissioner
that's the
Boyce,
difference
if you
to
recall,
2.5.
several weeks ago, we, Director Bivens came to us and we did, a swap with, I think, Summit County and a few other counties on the eastern part of the state, where we did some, we traded some funds, just maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago. And so, so those are dollars that we'll hold on to until the end of 2019.
And we've had.
Essentially make that swap
Yeah,
then.
distribution that we just put some, requests for, which is the trade. So we'll get back, we'll see how much money we'll get back out of that before we.
President Boyce, Commissioners O'Grady and Brown, I'd like to also note that I meet I have a scheduled monthly meeting, a fiscal update with both the agency director and CFO, and we discuss the state of JFS's budget. So if we see any trends going the wrong way, I'm aware of it, and we've reserved money and reacted when the amount of the subsidy was finalized. For example, dated back to 2016, the subsidy request was 1.9 million, and we needed $511,400. In 2017, the subsidy request was for $1 million, and then we provided 654,000. So we will be monitoring this. We look at our agency staffing levels, much as we reacted in providing, you all approved additional overtime dollars, 93,000, I believe, to an appropriation authority to allow the agency to respond to emerging needs. During our message earlier, we talked, and President Boyce, you talked about building a budget that has flexibility in it to meet emergent needs and be proactive when we need to preserve services for the residents of the county. So we are always prepared to do that. That's why it's important getting back to having the fiscal wherewithal in the reserves available to not have to hesitate or ask the director to hold back on hiring or any of those type of things in order to provide service to our residents.
Thanks everyone for the clarification. I just want to say, like, in your budget document, what made this stand out is, again, when you really get down to it, what you're known for is public assistance. And albeit you do many things. And so when you see a, almost $3 million decrease, I don't want someone like the press to read this budget and say, we're reducing, even though poverty is going up, we're reducing our public assistance by $3 million. And because that can, by reading the document by itself, if you don't go into the background, that's what it would look like. And so I just wanted to clear, and then even in the detail part, it says deferred. The status says, like, because on the other ones it will say recommended, but on that one it says deferred. And so I'm just trying to make sure that people who read this document know that this is not an area that we are reducing funds in. It is essentially a numbers thing of how we're managing a document, essentially, or accounts. And so, because it looks like $3 million on paper being reduced by. So.
Right, and I would like to clarify something else. The program title Public Assistance is a little misleading as well, because the actual public assistance dollars that our customers receive are not in our budget. Those come from the state, so food assistance and Medicaid assistance and all of that is in the state's budget. So whereas, yes, you are very correct that our main purpose is providing public assistance to our vulnerable citizens, those dollars are not in our budget. So the program that you're looking at that's labeled public assistance is more the administration of those dollars.
Right,
Dollars
I
of
get that.
actual public assistance aren't being reduced in our budget because
Right.
we don't budget and those dollars don't come through us.
Right, I get that, and I was aware of that, but again, I just look at how folks on the outside
would
may
read it.
read this budget and then say, this is what we see, and then we get criticized, and because I don't, I look at everything as a commissioner, when we go out to the public, we're accountable, and we have to answer to people, and they don't always have the detailed information that you have, and it has to be an easy explanation of, we're not, and so it may be administrative costs, but even if you reduce administrative costs, there's a transfer of how that impacts the public. And so I just want to be clear about, we're not reducing public assistance dollars. It is a numbers issue of how we manage a document, essentially. And so I just, I'm not, I don't think it's an issue. I just think it's something that we just need to talk more about when we see, because like I said, the press, they get this and then they just read what they see and they report what they see. And so, to me, I thought it was something worthy of clarification. I don't have any additional questions.
Thank
Alright.
you.
Thank
You
you.
can applaud now, Charles.
That concludes our first budget hearing. I do want to say, I want to encourage those who may be watching or listening or in the audience, if you have thoughts, questions, or feedback, I want to invite you to share that with the Board of Commissioners. This process is a public process, and want to encourage you to be as active in that process as you can. I don't have a schedule in front of me of the next hearing, but, or the schedule of hearings, rather. But do we publish that online, or is that on our website? All right, well,
Commissioner, it's tomorrow at 10 a.m. and the agencies providing presentations are Human Resources, Economic Development and Planning, and the Sheriff's Office.
perfect. Thank you, Director.
Yep.
Yep, thank you, Director. Appreciate that. And that concludes our meeting. Thank you.